What if I told you that 3.9 million years ago, three of our earliest ancestors walked across wet volcanic ash in Tanzania, leaving behind the most incredible evidence of human evolution ever discovered? These weren't just any footprints. They were the first proof that early humans walked upright together as a family, and what scientists found when they studied these ancient tracks completely revolutionized everything we thought we knew about human origins. For decades, these mysterious impressions remained hidden beneath layers of rock until one groundbreaking discovery in 1976 changed paleontology forever. The footprints revealed shocking secrets about early human behavior, family structures, and survival strategies that left researchers speechless. But here's what will blow your mind. The story of how these footprints were created involves a volcanic eruption, a desperate journey across dangerous terrain, and evidence of the very first human emotions captured in stone. What these three individuals were doing 3.9 million years ago, and why they were walking together through an active volcanic landscape, tells the most incredible survival story in human history. On September 24, 1976, at a remote archaeological site called Laetoli in northern Tanzania, paleontologist Mary Leakey made the discovery that would rewrite human evolutionary history forever. After decades of searching for early human fossils across East Africa, Leakey and her team were excavating layers of ancient volcanic sediment when something extraordinary emerged from the ground. Perfectly preserved footprints that had been waiting 3.9 million years to tell their story. The site of Laetoli, located 30 miles south of the famous Olduvai Gorge, had been created by a series of catastrophic volcanic eruptions from nearby Sadaman volcano. These eruptions deposited layers of fine volcanic ash, called tuff, across the East African landscape, creating perfect conditions for preserving ancient life. When seasonal rains fell on this ash, it created a surface with the consistency of wet concrete, ideal for capturing and maintaining detailed impressions of anything that walked across it. What Leakey's team discovered defied all scientific expectations. Stretching across 80 feet of exposed ancient surface were dozens of fossilized footprint trails from elephants, antelopes, guinea fowl, and other animals that had traversed this volcanic landscape millions of years ago. But among all these tracks, three distinct trails stood out as absolutely revolutionary, the unmistakable footprints of early human ancestors walking upright across the ash. The preservation was so extraordinary that individual toe impressions were clearly visible, showing anatomical details that had been protected under protective sediment layers for nearly 4 million years. Unlike scattered fossil bones that only reveal what early humans looked like, these footprints captured them in actual motion, providing the first direct evidence of how they moved, walked, and most remarkably, how they lived together as coordinated groups. Mary Leakey, who had already revolutionized paleontology with discoveries including the famous Zinjanthropus skull, immediately recognized the monumental significance of the find. This discovery is the most remarkable find that can be made in relation to human ancestry, she declared. The footprints provided something that isolated fossil bones never could, a dynamic snapshot of actual behavior frozen in volcanic time. Three trackways, scientifically designated as G1, G2, and G3, showed clear evidence of different-sized individuals. The largest prints belonged to someone approximately 4 feet 6 inches tall, the medium prints to an individual about 4 feet tall, and the smallest to someone around 3 feet 8 inches in height. The consistent spacing and uniform depth indicated they were walking at a relaxed, leisurely pace, not fleeing from immediate danger, but moving together purposefully across the dangerous landscape. Initial scientific analysis confirmed these weren't modern human footprints, but belonged to Australopithecus afarensis, the same species as Lucy, discovered just 2 years earlier. However, these prints provided something Lucy's fossilized bones couldn't reveal: definitive proof that early humans were fully committed to efficient upright walking and traveled together in organized family groups, the volcanic ash that preserved. The footprints also provided perfect conditions for precise radiometric dating, confirming the tracks were exactly 3.66 million years old, making them the oldest direct evidence of human bipedalism ever discovered. The meticulous scientific analysis of the Laetoli footprints revealed unprecedented details about early human anatomy, behavior, and social dynamics that had never been accessible through fossil bones alone. Each individual print functioned like a detailed page in an ancient biological textbook, telling the comprehensive story of three remarkable individuals who lived and traveled together 3.9 million years ago. Biomechanical analysis of the footprints completely revolutionized scientific understanding of early human locomotion capabilities. Unlike modern apes, which exhibit a distinctive rolling gait that leaves characteristic knuckle impressions, the Laetoli tracks demonstrated a heel strike walking pattern nearly identical to modern human bipedal movement. The heel contacted the ground first, followed by the foot rolling smoothly forward to push off powerfully with the toes, providing definitive evidence that these early humans had mastered highly efficient bipedal locomotion. The foot anatomy, revealed in the pristine prints, showed a fascinating evolutionary blend of human and ape characteristics. The big toe was perfectly aligned with the other toes, like modern humans, rather than protruding sideways, like ape thumbs. However, the overall foot proportions were longer and narrower than contemporary human feet, with more pronounced arches that suggested these early humans spent considerable time climbing trees for safety and food resources. Gait analysis revealed that all three individuals walked with confident, purposeful strides that indicated complete comfort with upright locomotion. The stride length, foot positioning, and weight distribution patterns showed no signs of the awkward, unsteady walking that might be expected from creatures still transitioning from tree-dwelling to ground-based lifestyles. These were accomplished bipedal walkers who had fully committed to life on the ground. Perhaps most fascinating was the evidence of coordinated group movement embedded in the trackway patterns. The three sets of footprints followed nearly identical paths, with the medium-sized individuals' tracks occasionally overlapping the largest prints, suggesting they were walking closely together, possibly with the smaller individual following directly behind the larger one for protection or guidance in the potentially dangerous volcanic environment. Scientific measurement of stride lengths and walking speeds indicated all three individuals were moving at approximately 3.5 kilometers per hour, a comfortable walking pace that suggested they weren't fleeing from immediate predators but were traveling together with specific destination goals. This coordinated movement pattern provided the first concrete evidence that early humans engaged in planned, purposeful group travel rather than random, individual wandering. The depth and clarity of the impressions also revealed important biomechanical details about early human foot structure and walking mechanics. The prints showed evidence of flexible feet with strong arches, powerful toe grip strength, and weight distribution patterns that indicated these individuals were carrying minimal loads, suggesting they traveled light and relied on intelligence rather than tools for survival. Chemical analysis of the volcanic ash surrounding the footprints provided additional environmental context. The ash composition revealed that the three individuals walked across this surface within hours of a rainfall event, when the volcanic material had the perfect consistency for preserving detailed impressions. This timing suggests they may have been taking advantage of the cooler, more comfortable conditions immediately following the rain. The Laetoli footprints represented far more than simple evidence of upright walking. They provided the first glimpse into early human social behavior, family dynamics, and survival strategies that would shape the future evolution of our species. The story of the three individuals who created the Laetoli footprints reads like an ancient adventure tale of survival, family bonds, and courage in one of Earth's most dangerous environments. Scientific analysis has allowed researchers to reconstruct not just their physical journey, but the remarkable social dynamics that enabled these early humans to thrive in volcanic East Africa 3.9 million years ago. Based on footprint size and stride analysis, scientists believe the three travelers were likely a family unit consisting of a large adult male, an adult female, and either a juvenile or smaller adult. The largest individual, standing approximately 4 feet 6 inches tall and weighing around 100 pounds, displayed the confident, measured gait of an experienced leader who knew the terrain and understood the constant dangers of their environment. Medium-sized individual, about 4 feet tall, walked with a slightly different pattern that suggested careful attention to surroundings, behavior consistent with a female carrying precious cargo or protecting a younger family member. The smallest individual maintained a steady pace that indicated strength and endurance despite their size, suggesting these early humans developed remarkable physical capabilities from childhood. The volcanic landscape they traversed was a hellscape of recent eruptions, toxic gases, and unstable terrain. Sataman volcano had recently exploded, covering the region with layers of fine ash that created both opportunity and danger. While the ash provided the soft surface that would immortalize their footprints, it also represented a landscape of choking dust, limited visibility, and scarce food resources. Their journey took them across approximately 80 feet of exposed volcanic surface, but this represents only a tiny fraction of what must have been a much longer trek across the ash-covered landscape. They were likely traveling between food sources or water supplies, following ancient migration routes that early human groups used to survive in this harsh environment. The coordinated nature of their movement suggests sophisticated communication and social planning. The smallest individual occasionally stepped directly into the larger prints, a behavior that modern researchers recognize as a survival strategy used by families traveling through dangerous terrain. By following in the leader's exact footsteps, the smaller individual could avoid unstable ground, hidden obstacles, or areas that might collapse underfoot. Most remarkably, evidence suggests they paused during their journey. In several locations, the footprints show signs that the individuals stopped, shifted weight, and possibly looked around to assess their surroundings. These behavioral moments, captured forever in volcanic ash, represent the first evidence of early human decision-making and environmental awareness in real time. The timing of their journey was likely strategic. They walked across the ash shortly after rainfall had created optimal walking conditions, not too dry and dusty, but not so wet as to create dangerous mud. This suggests they understood weather patterns and planned their movements accordingly, demonstrating intelligence and environmental awareness that went far beyond simple survival instincts. Footprints end abruptly where the preserved ash surface terminates, but their journey undoubtedly continued across the broader East African landscape. These three individuals were part of small, resilient communities that were learning to thrive in one of the planet's most challenging environments through cooperation, intelligence, and unbreakable family bonds. The Laetoli footprints capture a single moment in an epic journey that represents humanity's first steps toward conquering the natural world through unity and determination. The impact of the Laetoli footprints extends far beyond paleontology, fundamentally changing how humanity understands its origins, evolutionary journey, and the profound significance of those first upright steps taken 3.9 million years ago. These ancient impressions continue to influence scientific research, challenge long-held assumptions, and inspire new discoveries about early human capabilities and social evolution. The footprints revolutionized the timeline of human bipedalism, proving definitively that upright walking was fully established much earlier than previously believed. Before Laetoli, Many scientists thought early humans spent millions more years, transitioning gradually from tree-dwelling to ground-based lifestyles. The confident, efficient walking patterns preserved in volcanic ash demonstrated that bipedalism wasn't a clumsy evolutionary experiment, but a sophisticated locomotion strategy that had been perfected by 3.9 million years ago. Perhaps more importantly, the footprints provided the first concrete evidence of early human social behavior and family structures. The coordinated group movement, protective positioning, and shared travel patterns revealed that cooperation and family bonds were fundamental human characteristics from our earliest evolutionary stages. This discovery challenged previous assumptions that complex social behavior developed much later in human evolution. The preservation technology that captured these footprints has inspired innovative research methods across multiple scientific disciplines. The Laetoli site demonstrated how volcanic environments could preserve incredibly detailed biological evidence, leading to new exploration strategies at similar geological locations worldwide. Researchers now specifically target areas with ancient volcanic activity, hoping to discover additional evidence of early human behavior. Modern forensic science has benefited enormously from techniques developed to analyze the Laetoli footprints. Methods for measuring gait patterns, determining individual characteristics from footprint analysis, and reconstructing movement patterns from track evidence were all refined through study of these ancient impressions. These techniques now help solve modern criminal cases and provide insights into human biomechanics. The discovery has also influenced our understanding of human uniqueness in the animal kingdom. While other primates occasionally walk upright, the Laetoli footprints demonstrated that sustained, efficient bipedalism was a defining characteristic that separated early humans from all other species. This locomotion revolution freed human hands for tool use, carrying capacity, and eventually complex manipulation that would lead to technology and civilization. Educational impact has been profound, with the Laetoli footprints becoming one of the most recognizable symbols of human evolution. Museums worldwide display casts of the tracks, allowing millions of people to connect emotionally with their ancient ancestors. The footprints make evolution tangible and personal. These weren't abstract fossil bones, but actual steps taken by real individuals who lived, loved, and survived in ancient Africa. Recent technological advances continue to reveal new information from the original footprints. 3D scanning, digital reconstruction, and advanced biomechanical modeling provide increasingly detailed insights into early human anatomy and behavior. Each new analysis technique uncovers additional layers of information preserved in the volcanic ash. The Laetoli footprints represent more than scientific evidence. They're a direct connection to humanity's shared ancestry. Every human alive today can trace their lineage back to communities like the 3 individuals who walked across that volcanic landscape. Their steps represent the beginning of humanity's journey from vulnerable creatures struggling to survive in dangerous African environments to the dominant species that would eventually explore every corner of the Earth and reach for the stars. Those ancient footprints remind us that human greatness began with simple steps taken together across uncertain ground toward an unknown future. If the incredible story of humanity's first preserved footsteps inspired you, remember that every great journey begins with a single step taken in the right direction. These 3 ancient ancestors proved that cooperation, family bonds, and courage can overcome any obstacle, lessons that remain just as relevant today as they were 3.9 million years ago. Share this amazing discovery to help others understand that the most important human characteristics, love, loyalty, and determination, have been part of our species from the very beginning. Subscribe for more incredible stories about human evolution, and remember that every step you take today continues the same epic journey that began with those first footprints in ancient African volcanic ash.